Welcome, everyone, to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean, Stacking the Money Green. Give me a follow over on Twitter at Sean T. Green. And as always, Daily Juice is being brought to you by BetMGM. Use a promo code JUICE. $10 bet turns into $200. Either team scores a touchdown, good for college and pro football. Restrictions apply. Hey, what do we got here? Got a nice little winning night, 2-1. Always good to walk away with the dub when action's involved. Stuff gets wild. And, of course, we got some Thursday night football picks. All right, here we go. Central Michigan, they are the loser tonight on the slate. They lost outright 12-10. I saw a little bit of weather. Didn't realize it would be the weather that we saw. It was a really fun game to watch. I mean, watching a snow game just takes you back to going out with your buddies and you're in middle school, high school, running around, decking guys. I don't know. It's just so fun to watch. I've had a bunch of good snow memories, football over the years, of course. When the Eagles took down the Detroit Lions, LaShawn McCoy had a massive game. What was that, 2014, 15? I don't know. All runs together, but snow football is so fun to watch. So if I'm going to lose, at least let it be with the chips. That was a crazy game. I thought they'd maybe be able to do something second half. It was just got ugly late. Heading over to the hardwood. Celtics destroyed the Hawks 126-101. This was just, didn't need the antiperspirant. That was a no sweat bet. A well-rounded offensive performance by the Celtics there. Jason Tatum only had 19, still won by 25. Again, the spread made no sense to me. It was like -2, -1.5. Celtics have just been playing lights out. They travel well, well coached, and shout out to I thought they would have some issues with the new head coach and all the drama surrounding that team, but apparently not. So nice win for the Celtics, who I don't like as a team overall, but sometimes you got to bet the teams you don't like. Eastern Michigan, 7.5-point dogs. They won outright 31-24 over Kent State. Was I kicking myself for not playing the money line? Honestly, not really, because early on it seemed Kent State's offense was really moving the ball. Eastern Michigan went for it on 4th and 1 in the red zone, and I was like, all right, they just backdoor this. Didn't even think win was on the table, but they got the win. They got the dub. They got the cover there, plus 7.5. All right, before we get to the picks, not only do we give you free picks every night, we also give you, this is just an awesome show. It just occurred to me. Give you a ton of free picks and a ton of free ways to win stuff like an autographed Kenneth Walker jersey. Just go to youtube.com/bettingpros, hit subscribe, comment on the video, automatically entered to win an autographed jersey courtesy of Pristine Auction and, of course, us over at Betting Pros. With the comment, what do you guys want me to pick for Friday? I'll be taping the episode after the Thursday night games here, and I'm going just off the comment suggestions in the video. So whatever you want me to pick on Friday, free for all Friday, get your picks in as far as what games you want me to break down. Whatever it is, even some props. If you got to take on some props, I'll do some nuggets. I'll do some research. I'll figure out where the value is, and we'll let it ride on a Friday night. What better way to go into the weekend? All right, here we go. Thursday Night Football. Titans at the Packers. Give me the Titans plus 3.5, -115 over on DK. 3.5 flash late. Glad I got it. Mike Vrabel crushes it as a dog. 20-7 ATS as a dog of 3 points or more. Titans have been great against the spread so far this season. 7-2 ATS. To me, this is just like a letdown spot for the Packers. We had the Packers on the money line in the round robin there. I thought they were going to win that game, and it was just, hey, we figured it out. We took down the Cowboys quietly, and I don't want this to come off as me complimenting the Cowboys. That was partially just a choke job by the Cowboys. Like, the Packers really got fortunate. There were some bad play calls in overtime. There for the Cowboys. Went for it on 4th when they probably should have kicked that field goal in overtime. Very fortunate to get that win. I think if they lose to Dallas there, the narrative is very different. This just feels like a real letdown spot. And Titans took care of business at home against the Broncos. It was ugly because they were looking ahead to this Thursday night game as often happens. And matchup wise, there's just so much going for Tennessee. Titans #1 in rush defensive DVOA, so I think they're going to be able to slow down Aaron Jones, going to be able to slow down A.J. Dillon, force the Packers to do what they don't want to do. And then meanwhile, Packers 30th in rush defensive DVOA, and you got Derrick Henry on the other side, and you're giving them 3.5 points. Titans plus 3.5 for 2 units. And speaking of Derrick Henry, I'm taking his over 98.5 rush yards. I mean, he's coming off a game, kind of a down game for Derrick Henry, but the 5 games before, he smashed to the over very easily. I just mentioned how bad the Packers are in rush defensive DVOA, and this is a volume thing. It's a game script thing. It's going to be cold. You want to give it to Derrick Henry. Maybe you have some issues with the weather, passing the ball. It's just going to be a massive Derrick Henry game. You can have a bad game and still get 99 yards there. So give me Derrick Henry over 98.5 rush yards. Get that over on DK. And I think all these props courtesy of DraftKings. All right, A.J. Dillon. I'm taking his under 33.5 rushing yards. It seems like the offense in general, they're looking to favor Aaron Jones a lot more. I know coming into the season, it's like, hey, A.J. Dillon, breakout year, fantasy steal. A.J. Dillon, he just really hasn't got it going. And I think Green Bay is going to try to beat Tennessee through the passing game. So maybe even A.J. Dillon gets a couple catches. They look to get creative to get him involved. But as far as him just pounding the rock, and he's been kind of inefficient too. So I think for him to get this, he's got to have maybe like 9-10 carries. And game script wise against this Titans defense, I just don't see it happening. So I'm on the A.J. Dillon under 33.5 rushing yards. Moving over to my next prop, and hold your breath here as I try to pronounce this guy's name, Chigoziem Okonkwo. He is the tight end for the Tennessee Titans. You might remember him from the guy who almost hit our first touchdown bet against the Chiefs. He broke off a massive run. This guy is just a kind of a force to be reckoned with. I'm taking his over 9.5 receiving yards. He's getting in exciting ways, right? Last 2 games, he's had 1 catch for 41 yards and 1 catch for 48 yards. All he needs, give this guy 1 ball. He is not easy to take down. We saw some of the issues that the Packers defense had with some of the passing game. CeeDee Lamb went off. So I think Okonkwo at 9.5 receiving yards, that feels way, way, way too low. And he's just honestly, when we're gambling, he's just a fun guy to root for. Again, I think they're gonna have trouble taking him down. He just needs 1 catch, maybe 2, and he gets there. So I like Okonkwo a lot. Give me his over 9.5 receiving yards. And now time for a DGen play. Strap in your seatbelts, everyone. We're going for it all. Austin Hooper. This is the same game parlay over on DraftKings. Yes. Austin Hooper, 2 touchdowns, and Tennessee to win the game. 90-1 over on DraftKings. Here's the logic. If you've watched this Titans team, they have moments where guys kind of pop off in the passing game. We saw that last week with Westbrook-Ikhine. He seemed to have a really good game. Austin Hooper actually coming off his best game. I think he's due for a touchdown, and if he's due for 1, why not make it a second? Again, we know there's variance down near the red zone. Hooper, 0 touchdowns this season, and he's been having some catches. Again, coming off his biggest catch game, 5 for 41. He also has 3 red zone targets, so he's a guy they look to. Again, odds-wise, touchdowns probably going to Derrick Henry, but that's not any fun. We're here to gamble. We're here to have a little fun. The numbers say this is a little – there's some value here. Again, it's 90-1, so don't put the mortgage payment on it. Don't put your crypto balance. You could be facing a liquidity crisis if this Austin Hooper bet doesn't hit. But 2 touchdowns and Tennessee to win the game, 90-1. I'll take this for a starting tight end in an offense where they're still trying to figure out who is the dog, who is the lead dog. I know Traylon Burks is coming off an injury there. Robert Woods doesn't look that great. I just think there's tons of opportunity for Austin Hooper, 2 touchdowns, and Tennessee to win the game. 90-1 over on DraftKings. Okonkwo over 9.5 receiving yards. A.J. Dillon under rushing yards at 33.5. Derrick Henry over 98.5 rush yards. Very chalky, but sometimes you got to eat that delicious chalk. And the Tennessee Titans plus 3.5, minus 115 for 2 units over on DraftKings. Remember, betmgm.com. Use the promo code JUICE. Bet $10, get $200 if either team scores a touchdown. Follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. And check out my other podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast. Just went through every NFL game, picked it against the spread. Hey, you guys know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it ride.